shot before we begin. Cheers, everybody, to a good night. Yeah!
No lie, none needed.
Okay, so I've got two pieces here that our editorial board decided were decent enough to get published in this brilliant zine. Excuse me. Heal up. I'm going to start by reading The Bartender's Moon, which is a little poem that I wrote last year. So here goes nothing. The bartender starts work now. He doesn't drive, he walks. I guide. A vanilla glow peeking at winter's chalk drawings. He goes in through the front door, I go in through the window. The bartender's lips are dry. He fills craters with liquid, warm in the stomach, water on the moon. Drops sift through space, down our cheeks, like whiskey in a barfly's glass. A man cries, "Tell the bartender not to drive tonight," but he never learned how. And I say, "Bartender, oh bartender, close for the night. I am shy." That whiskey slips down, that barfly leaves. The bartender is stuck staring at keys. Now we are alone. I try to wrap him in my silver wings, but he puts on a leather coat. He leaves the bar, he looks to the sky. We are both weeping and don't know why. That's a little poem. And then I've got a piece of creative nonfiction. So this is true stuff. Kind of about my brother and other things. And my little spoiler that I'll give is near the end. It kind of goes into like a stream of consciousness that might be better read on paper, but I'm going to do my best to read aloud. And with that said, this is this is Walking Home, a piece of creative nonfiction by Daniel Green. I found a letter in my mailbox addressed to someone who doesn't live here anymore. The same mailbox where someone left used cotton balls, rubber bands, and needles inside. The mailbox that I removed from a crumbling brick wall to sanitize with a bottle of water and dish soap. I got orange-brown rust stains all over my clothes. I don't know how long it sat there, but long enough to garner rust indoors. The letter was addressed as such. Owen McGuire, Apartment 2, 345 Sydenham Road, Kingston, Ontario, K7S 3N6. Owen. Every time I cross paths with the name Owen, it makes me think of my brother. He's one of my two half-brothers. My father's 74 years old. He had a family before the one that I'm a part of. For him, I'm the last of three, the youngest of the family, and the one born into the protection of parents in a stable marriage. My father's a Canadian science fiction author. His last novel in the Ashland trilogy, St. Patrick's Bed, opens with the following acknowledgement. For Daniel Cassie Green, the completion of my fabulous trilogy. The Ashland books are almost pseudo-memoirs. He blends fact and fiction, plays with ghost stories, the afterlife, time travel, things that seem so fake but are so real. The first in his trilogy is Shadow of Ashland. It follows Leo, who's trying to locate Jack Brady, his mother's brother who disappeared when she was young. Both to Leo and my actual father, Mom's last request was to find out what happened to Jack. At the beginning of the novel, Dad writes, "For my brother, Ron, whom we all miss now and always, 1932 to 1993. Ron died of a heart attack at 61. Not being born yet, there's no mention of me, but there's this. As always, with love, I thank my family, Merle for everything, and Connor and Owen for everything else. Owen was acknowledged, but he left anyway. He went missing about 5 years ago, in 2016. Or maybe not missing, but disconnected. What classifies one as missing rather than disconnected or disassociated depends on whether or not they want to be found. If you don't want to be found, people don't put up missing posters for you. I can't put up a missing poster or call the cops. Owen chose to go missing. He blocked our phone numbers and ceased contact with our family completely. It's random to us, but not to him. About 2 years ago, I went to the doctor's office for a checkup. My dad drove me, but couldn't find parking. He dropped me off while he looked for a spot. I went up the old creaky elevator alone. I've always feared getting stuck in elevators, especially the one at Dr. Lukitas' office. It had a dim orange light that lit up the numbers. It moved slowly, wobbled. I don't like the idea of getting stuck. Upon reaching the top floor, I heard the door to the stairwell open and close. I can't remember if I saw the tail of someone's shoe go around the corner and down the stairs, or if I've made that detail up after years of trying to cope. I walked into the doctor's office. "Daniel, you saw your brother?" the receptionist, Dora, said. I was having trouble breathing. "Brother? He just left. He went down the stairs. You didn't see him?" "Oh, no. What brother?" "Owen." I froze, and then I sat down. "Oh, are you okay?" "I haven't seen him in a while is all." My dad came up and sat down beside me shortly after. "Dad, Owen was just here." His mouth opened, eyebrows raised. "You're kidding." "No, Dora just told me. I could have run after him. I should have run after him. I don't know why, but I just sat down and stopped. There's nothing you can do. You did the right thing. If he doesn't want to talk, you can't make him. But he was here?" "Yes." "Well, wow. Thank God. At least he's taking care of himself." That's the difference between father-son and brother-brother relationships. My dad was relieved to find out that he at least went to the doctor. I lost a brother, but he lost a son. I think I regret that moment, freezing, but I'm not entirely sure. What would I have said? Was I to run down the staircase, screeching his name, crying as I did, my sobs echoing through the 6-story staircase? How would he have replied? How are you supposed to reply when you haven't for so long? It's the same thing with phoning him. A while ago, I thought I was blocked, and the number used to go straight to voicemail or to "the caller is currently unavailable." But now it rings. It rung when I tried calling him last week. I'd like to think that means he unblocked me, but it probably means he got a new number. I'm scared to call his number. I swell up with anxiety when I do. Don't know if I actually want him to pick up. Don't know what I'd say. I also don't know what's worse. No answer, him picking up, or a stranger picking up. I don't know if there's a difference. I don't know a lot of things. Maybe he's dead. I'm sure we'd find out somehow, next of kin and all, but there's no way to be sure. If he died tomorrow or yesterday, I would keep on living my life as if he was alive. Missing, dead, disconnected. Maybe people are just gone at a certain point. My father wrote a book about being gone, about death. A Witness to Life starts with his grandfather dying on a streetcar on Christmas Day, 1950, and then transcending into some sort of afterlife. My father introduces the novel with, "For David Dinaldi Luganbuehl, always remembered, always loved, music forever, 1974 to 1997. David was the son of my father's friend, Ken. He was dating a woman in her late 20s. She had a kid. The three of them were driving down the 401 when their car got a flat tire. David pulled over. He and his girlfriend got out to check what happened, and they were hit by an 18-wheeler. The kid survived. OPP showed up at Ken's door at 5 a.m. to tell him. David was a 23-year-old piano player. It looked like a future in music was on his horizon. Owen is 40 now. My dad sent him a text on his 40th birthday. February 16th, 2021. Owen, think of you every day. Happy birthday. Love to hear from you. Update me and let me know you're okay. It would mean a lot to me. Dad. He sent him a letter a few days later. February 21, 2021. Hi, Owen. I've thrown a few bottles into the ocean with notes inside, trying to find you. This is one more. Knowing that in the past, phone contacts seemed to be blocked, I tried sending you a text on your 40th birthday, but I think it was probably blocked too, ending up in cyberspace. Before that, I'd had mail returned from your old Salmon Avenue apartment with "moved" printed across the address. It's a long story how I came across this mailing address, and I'd be glad to tell you about it if we can talk sometime. Last night I actually had a dream about seeing you again, which has prompted this attempt. Simply put, I'll always have a sense of my life being not right, with you not a part of it, no matter how much distance you choose to maintain. I'd love to hear from you, to know, if nothing else, what you're doing, where you're living, and that you're okay, especially with all this COVID craziness. That much would give me some much needed peace. If we could achieve more than that, it would be a bonus. Life is too short. I actually had a minor stroke back in October 2019. A wake-up call. Daniel is in his 3rd year at Queen's, doing well. He misses his brother like I miss my son. Love to hear from you. Call, please. Take care. Dad. I hope to have a book published one day, to write as well as my father does. My acknowledgement will read, for my brother, Owen, whom we all miss now and always, 1981 to ? Or maybe instead of a question mark, I'd use the date it was published. Because if I had chosen to share him with the world, that would mean he was gone. That would mean it was real. It would mean that I'd be sure he'd never read it. Earlier this year, when my ex-girlfriend and I first started dating, every time I drop her off at her place, I felt lonely walking home. I would usually tear up but didn't know why. It took me a while to realize the emotion I was feeling was loneliness, but that's because I'd never felt it before. My parents loved me and still do, but I couldn't run to them the same way I used to. I had a core group of friends in high school, always someone to hang out with, but now I'm struggling to figure out friendship. It's November 2020. I'm assigning blame to people in my head while walking home from my girlfriend's house. She didn't make me feel welcome. Maybe she's going to leave me like Owen did. No, maybe it's her roommate. Maybe she's making me cry. No. Maybe it's because I haven't gone home to Toronto in a while. Maybe it's the fact that my roommate still hangs out with my ex-girlfriend. Maybe it's because I was with her for 4.5 years and left suddenly, disconnected, gone. Maybe it's because David Luganbuehl died on the 401. Maybe it's because the kid was the only one that lived. Maybe it's the fact that my father had a stroke last year. Maybe it's the fact that I think he's going to die soon, that I can sense the cancer soon to be revealed. Maybe it's because we all can die soon. Because lightning can strike, and people are gone. People just leave sometimes. It starts to rain, hard. The ink of an advertisement for music lessons bleeds down the bowl it's stapled to, like words turning to italics. Drops speckle my glasses. I can really cry now because it's invisible. Maybe it's because somebody left heroin needles in my mailbox, or because I got rust all over my clothes, or because the caller is unavailable. I look up into the night at the clouds and the moon is poking through, bright and orange, glowing, like Christmas and raindrops and elevator buttons at the doctor's office, and bleeding rust splattering onto piano keys. I'm crying, but I don't want to anymore, or maybe the moon just likes to make me feel this way. Maybe feeling melancholic is beautiful, And Owen feels this way when he walks home. Ashland, Owen McGuire, find out what happened to Jack. Letters, mailboxes, lost. People, gone, missing, disconnected, disassociated. Music, forever, now, and always. Whom we all miss. 1997, 1932, 1974, 1993, 1981. Always remembered, always loved. Ron, Owen, walking home. For my brother.